everyone, welcome back to Next Generation. My name is Jen and today we will be making a DIY holographic tray. So I've had this tray for a few years now. I use it for my remotes and random stuff like that. So I wanted to kind of give it a little makeover because it doesn't match anything in my living room and it's all busted up from all of my remotes. So that's what we'll be doing today. If you don't have a tray already at home, I'm sure you can find one at a Goodwill, thrift store, Dollar Tree, anything like that. You can find super inexpensive and it doesn't really matter what it looks like because we will be completely redoing it. So really all you need to look at is the shape of it and the size and if it works for whatever you're using it for. And everything that I'm using is stuff I already had at home, so it's a win-win. You will need some spray paint if you did want to paint the tray. I want mine to be completely white, so I will be using some glossy spray paint. You will also need something to decorate the bottom. I'll be using some CDs or DVDs. As you can see on the back, they look holographic and I love that effect of it. You will also need some hot glue to keep the pieces in place on the bottom of the tray as we are doing the DIY. And lastly, you will need some clear casting resin. So you can get this at any craft store. I get mine at Michael's. Be sure to use a coupon if you do get it from there because it is pretty pricey, but a little goes a long way, so this ends up lasting for lots of different crafts. So now we're gonna go ahead and get started on the DIY. I'm first going to kind of clean off this tray because it is a little dusty and dirty, and then I'm going to bring it outside and spray paint it with the white spray paint. You do want to spray paint in a ventilated area because it is really strong and chemically and you don't want that in your face or in your rooms. I also like to use gloves so that I don't mess up my nails, of course. So I will be doing 2 coats of spray paint since this is pretty dark, and it does say to wait 5 minutes in between each coat and that it will be dry to handle within 1 hour. So while I wait for this spray paint to dry, I'm going to begin creating the little mosaic pieces that we're going to use with the discs. So I'm first going to put it in this old pillowcase that I have. You can also use like a towel or a t-shirt, just something to protect your hands so that when you're making the little pieces, you don't cut yourself on the broken pieces of the disc. So I'm just going to stick it right into the pillowcase like this and then just begin breaking it. Wait. What the hell? These are indestructible discs, apparently. Let's see what happened. Oh, nothing. Wow, I feel so weak right now. All right, so scratch that. I'm going to try to use some really thick scissors that I have, or shears, whatever you want to call it, and see if I can cut through it, question mark. Scissors work great. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to use a pair of scissors and just cut the little small mosaic shapes out on the discs. This is 2 layers, so sometimes it does break, but I do like it because it gives it a little bit of a different effect. So you have one that's not see-through and then one that's a little bit transparent. So I feel like that's gonna look pretty cool together. Now I'm going to begin decorating the bottom of the tray. So instead of using hot glue, because I feel like it'll be really tedious to apply hot glue to each of these pieces, so instead I'm just going to take some Elmer's glue or Mod Podge and then just pour it little by little and just work on it section by section. And I just feel like this will be a lot faster because I'm just going to cover the bottom in the glue. And I'm really just kind of placing these however, but I'm kind of looking at the shape that is needed for each spot. So that's kind of what's helping me. So as you can see here, I can use like a triangle. And that's the cool thing about this DIY is there really is no right or wrong way to do it. So now I'm going to let the Mod Podge dry, and then I'm going to add the resin on top to seal everything together and so that it's nice and smooth and shiny. So you do want to have equal parts of the A side and the B side. So I'm just going to pour them directly into this empty cup, and then I'm going to use a popsicle stick to mix it together. You want to be sure you mix it as thoroughly as possible, and you also want to let it sit for a couple minutes to let all the air bubbles go to the top. And then I'm just going to pour it all directly onto the Mosaic, and I'm just going to move it around to be sure that the resin is distributed evenly and in all of the cracks and crevices. Once the resin has dried, this is how it ended up coming out. I absolutely love how it looks, especially when it hits the light. It is just so beautiful compared to how it looked before. So that is all for this little DIY mosaic tray. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe if you're not already, and I'll see y'all in my next video. Bye guys.